Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from the Blackwater Siren on the south side of Jewfish Creek. I'm here with Bill Wissinger.
Hi, how y'all doing today?
The Blackwater Siren here in Key Largo has a great happy hour specials from Monday to Friday, 3 to 6. Delicious menu, friendly staff, and a beautiful setting. What could you ask for more? And then since he has his beer up, they do have $2 Bud Light and Bud bottles all the
Happiness.
time. All the time. And they have the regular happy hour, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. Can't do that. You cook your catch and all that stuff.
Yep.
And you have great people here. Today we had Jim and Ingrid. Chrissy will be back. Kelly's coming in a little later, and Phil.
There you go.
I think maybe Michelle. We have a good old time here, I think.
We do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have our compadre with us, Luke. He's out driving right now, I guess.
He's ferrying people around in the cab.
He is. But we'll have we have a bit coming up.
That old
what?
Beatles song. Oh, no, it's Baby Can You Drive My Car. I thought they had a taxi
That
song.
is a Beatles song.
Yeah, I know. I thought they had a taxi song, too. I don't remember.
I think you're thinking of a Harry Chapin song. I get so high when I'm stoned. Here I'm flying in my taxi.
Yeah, it could
getting tips and getting stoned. What Luke is not getting stoned.
No, he's not getting stoned. You know, it's
While
surprisingly
he's-
enough, he's not stoned while he's driving the cab.
No, he is not. He is among many of the taxi drivers I've met in South Florida. He's one of the most sober ones. While
he's unique in that.
Yeah, he is. He gets high plenty of times. He doesn't need to partake of it.
Not that cab company, but another cab company. I called him one night from the crib. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty lit up. And the guy, the phone rings. The guy sitting next to me answers. He goes, "Hey, taxi." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm hanging up. I'm going to take my chances."
Oh, really? You were sitting at the bar next to you? Yeah. Holy shit.
I'm like,
How long
"Yeah."
ago was this?
3-4 years ago.
Wow.
I was laughing so damn hard.
What was that? There was a every so often people get the really fucking brilliant idea of opening a business in the Keys because they think it's underserved. And remember the Sunshine Taxi Company?
Yeah, they've bought all those expensive hybrid cars, and they were around, 6 months?
Never answered their phone. I mean, anytime you get a call, never answer a phone. I guess they couldn't get drivers if you can't pay them because no one's taking them. People just think if there's a lack of service, there's an opportunity to
We're good.
did we get that? An opportunity to make money, and they don't understand the market well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. It's very cyclical here, and right now we're coming out of we're coming out of slow season. We are. I see it.
It's starting
I see
to pick up.
Yeah, the temperature. Once again, we always say this: the temperature's dropping down. It's getting good time. Luke's getting busy. Our musicians are starting to get busy. Our bars. We had this past Saturday. We had the Witches Ride at the Catch. Did you hear about it?
Yep.
So the Witches Ride is a fundraiser for a scholarship fund. It's set up by local ladies in the community and stuff like that, but now it's actually getting to be, I predict in a couple of years it's going to be much more co-ed.
Yeah, it's a big thing. There's a bunch of guys that go along with the girls.
Oh, yeah, and there's going to be a lot more next year. They had over 320 registrants, and when we opened a bar outside on that tiki bar, I was out there, and they were all over the place. The parking lot was full of bikes. I mean, what could go better than a little booze and bike riding along a busy thoroughfare, you know?
At least there's a nice wide bicycle path.
Yeah, I know there is. But you got it. There's a nice busy highway on a Saturday
You do
afternoon.
have to cross that
Yes.
at some point.
Yes, they do. And luckily they did have Monroe County Sheriff's deputies there. Kind of interesting because it is a vehicle.
DUIs.
You're on a vehicle, and you can get a DUI on a – but
You pretty much got to be trying to get a DUI on a bicycle.
Well, it happens is that down here in the Keys, when you're riding at night, you got to have front and rear lights, right?
Yeah, you can't be in the middle of US 1 laying down.
No, you can't be.
They
Yeah,
frown
you can't
on
be.
that.
I mean, I see people. I've been walking down a bike path at night, and I had somebody almost hit me with a bike. No lights or anything like that. It didn't help that I had a couple drinks in me either, but I was walking. So as much, I thought I'd be prepared, and I thought since the vehicles. But, my major problem was in that whole thing, scenario, what was it? I was thinking. I shouldn't have been thinking. I should have just realized any fucking thing can happen on the bike path.
Yep.
I was just reading in the newspaper today, and it did not happen down here, but it seemed like it could have happened down here, that a guy that was brought in for drug sales and it was drug charges, and I think it may have been St. Louis. I'm not exactly sure, but it was I read it today online. He was being questioned by a detective, and when he was asked for his address, the guy lifted up his left leg while I was seated and just started farting like motherfucker.
There you
And
go.
he kept on doing it. He kept on doing it. The detective had to call the interrogation off. But the guy ended up admitting. So whatever he did, if that was your defense or anti-interrogation technique, your admission to guilt is a refutation of the tactic. You just had a tactic that someone could have employed in the future.
Yeah.
And there could be
you blew it, buddy.
some dude that, before I go out and sell drugs, this is what I do. I eat a shitload of black beans, some broccoli. What else can get you there? Some maybe
Cabbage.
Slim Jims, cabbage, drink some beer. And
Beer,
a lot of
cabbage.
it, carbonation, suck that carbonation down. Then when you get sucked into that interrogation, you just put them through the ringer, too. They're trying to put the heat lamps on you.
Man,
Make that room hot. They're going to have to sit.
Threw some chili peppers in there just so his eyes water some.
Oh, my God. They start sweating it out. But then once you make the admission of guilt, I mean, all that effort goes down the tube.
Yeah, I know.
No pun intended. Going down the tube. This episode, this is episode 120. It's called an Epidemic. And I think we got used to the news about, I think back in the 80s, about STDs. I mean, you'd see that when I was in Philadelphia, I learned about almost all about the STDs on the subways.
There's a song. There's an old Tom Lehrer song about that.
What, about STDs?
STDs.
What's paraphrase for me, my friend?
Kevin got it from Margie. Margie got it from Clyde. Clyde got it from da 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 da. It's funny as hell. If you've never heard Tom Lehrer, look him up in
Tom Laird.
Tom Lehrer, Lehrer.
Oh, okay,
He's
like
the guy
Bill
who
Maher.
He did the periodic table song.
Okay, I heard that one. Poisoning
Pigeons in the Dark, the Masochism Tango.
When I got out of high school and I was in college and was riding the L and the subway in Philadelphia, they'd list on above the seats. They had a place for advertising. You had lawyers. You had advertisements for the monthly Trans Pass, and then they had it for
There used to be
STDs.
a big billboard right up in Florida City. Get your STD test right when you got to the top.
Yeah, but they didn't list. When you're driving by, you don't have a chance to read all the STDs.
It was right there by the
I know. What I mean is,
stoplight.
I know, but you don't have enough time to read all the STDs because you're driving by it.
You've not been stuck at that stoplight at US 1 in Palm, have you? The one right before you get on the
Well, I
turnpike?
learned all about them before. But I remember the first one. The one I go chlamydia, and it sounded like,
clams
a group.
and white sauce.
No, it's actually sounded like one of the letters Jesus would write. Jesus,
letter to the chlamydians.
To the chlamydians. And
well, that'd be a good group to get.
The
that
fourth letter from the Apostle Peter to the chlamydians.
Y'all
And
back
he goes,
off
"Thou
that
shalt
banging
not.
stuff."
Thou shalt put sheath his sword in a lamb intestine before piercing or engaging in sex with an unknown female." And that would probably be the best one for chlamydians. But there's all sorts of new epidemics. There's a new polio.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a bunch of those crazy. We're not going to vaccinate people.
Well, no, this is not a. This is a different one, different sort. I agree with you on that. That's crazy that people say, "Well, there's no more polio anymore. Why should we vaccinate?" The reason why polio was eradicated was vaccination, smallpox, and all that shit was chicken pox and smallpox was eradicated because of immunizations. And if you get your information from a former Playboy model / comedian, what's her name? That blonde. She was super hot.
Yeah, I know. Dumb as a fucking
Jenny
box of
McCarthy.
rocks.
Jenny McCarthy. And they go, the comedian always, one comedian says, I don't know who it was. The Australian ones. He goes, okay, so you get your information from Jenny McCarthy because her kid has autism, or people can say, what's wrong with your kid? Oh, it's Jenny McCarthy's kid. That's what's wrong with the kid. No, I hate this. That sounds mean-spirited. I apologize. And if you disagree with immunizations, then I apologize. You're part of the problem because science has eradicated a lot of these diseases. That's the reason why our children aren't dying in masses before they reach get outside of toddlerhood. They used to die. You used to get a 50% infant mortality before the age of 5.
Oh yeah.
And now it's the only thing you have to worry about now is car crashes and some asshole coming in with an assault weapon to their school.
There we go. That's the name of the song I was looking for. I got it from Agnes.
I don't want to talk about that one. That's Abby's name.
Well, that's the name of the song about Tom Lehrer.
I got it from Agnes?
I got it from Agnes.
Well, okay. I'm not going to say it again. But I'm going to bring to light another one. A recent conversation I had during a bar, and I'll explain the whole gist of it. I became aware of a new epidemic, and that until recently was overlooked and underreported. And it strikes at the heart of the gay community, the straight community, transgender communities, all these different communities alike here in South Florida and around the country. It's really big among the celibate groups. You know, celibate, remain a virgin until you're married and all that stuff. Because, of course, they're way into anal prior to marriage.
Technical virgins.
So, and in Florida, the South Beach community has been hit especially heavily. The stigma the carriers have is really an onerous one. Once you get something, it's called, the medical name is axilla gonorrhea, commonly said to be armpit gonorrhea. And it's transmitted by direct sexual contact between an armpit and the penis and vagina, or certain straps used by weightlifters.
Okay.
You can get it just from that. And do you have a question? How could someone with a vagina spread it with an armpit?
No, I'm pretty
Scissoring. You never heard of scissoring?
Yeah, no, I pretty much got where that's going to happen, but...
No, with the armpit. If you scissor with the armpit.
Yeah.
Now, that's a Southport phenomenon. But the penis inserted into the armpit does not have to be finished. It does not have to finish with an orgasm. And the same thing goes for the vagina using the scissoring technique. And certain, it's the explosive use of certain off-brand deodorants increase the transmission of disease, as well as Axe body spray. So some of the clubby guys, the Cubans and Italian Americans, or it could be an Irish Americans, they're susceptible to it. They get chafed skin under their armpits, and patient zero can be traced to, they always go to patient zero. We had it with a flight attendant in Quebec for the acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Here it's an American big game trophy hunter who rubbed their privates on a warthog in a game preserve in Tanzania. And he happens to be a son of a sitting president. Well, it's one of the sons of a sitting president, since we can't examine, but the DNA points to it. It's Eric or Donald Jr.,
There you go.
They're big game hunter. Unexplained aggression, becoming vocally less coherent, and things like that. But that was the armpit gonorrhea. I came up with that myself.
Kind of figured.
Well, the nose herpes, I came up with nose herpes and say, how do you get nose herpes? And they said, is it a herpes sore on the nose, which you can get.
Okay.
But I said that I told someone when I told them about armpit gonorrhea and nose herpes, I said that's nose herpes, direct insertion of the nose into the vaginal
Motorboat.
vagina. The vagina. No, not the motorboat, because that doesn't trap those things there. And the penis going up a nostril. And people, they say it's a small penis. Do you ever see how far they put a plug in an ear? One of those big plugs, and they stretch it out? Well, the human skin is very elastic. You have people that were once thin become very heavy. Yeah. So if you see someone with a body dysmorphic, an asymmetric nostril, if they have an asymmetric nostril, they could be practicing unsafe penile insertion up their nose.
They might well be.
I mean, you don't see it as often in the gay community because they have other orifices they prefer first. But so we got the nose herpes, the armpit gonorrhea. We have the inner elbow chlamydia.
Okay.
Chlamydia is that is mainly from the. It's called jackknifing. You heard jackknifing before?
Yeah, no.
It's a process where. What?
I mean, I got the whole jackknife.
You know what jackknifing is?
Yeah, no, but you say it and it's not hard.
I just made it up, and I'm just wondering where you got it from. Oh yeah, so now I just made jackknifing up.
It's not hard to figure out.
They take the penis and they jackknife it into their inner armpit. Oh, well, that's good. That when they cause an ejaculation, forcible ejaculation into the inner elbow, right there.
Like I said, not terribly hard to figure out.
Oh, that's completely made up.
Yeah, still.
I mean, but there are rashes. I did research afterwards. The rashes caused in the armpit by gonorrhea. And women, they did a study, and after the fact of me creating these STDs, I did research, and a rash is caused inside your armpit, and it causes your sweat glands to emit an unpleasant odor. And women have a tendency to not be attracted to odors to men that have STDs. Is that?
There you go.
Works that's that's an evolutionary development.
Evolutionary development.
Where, yeah, I think that's just
red flag going up. Hey,
yeah. If I smell, you smell like gonorrhea. I mean, like you can't tell. Did you ever see the movie Dressed to Kill?
That's the one with Kirk Douglas.
No, Dressed to Kill. No, that was. Are you talking about Something Like It Hot?
No.
Dressed to Kill was Michael Keaton. And Angie Dickinson, and she dies right in the beginning. And Karen Allen. It's a Brian De Palma movie from the early 80s, late 70s. And there we go. We got an emergency vehicle going north.
Heading north.
Yep. Could be an accident or it could be life in the Keys. But I'll tell you, if you're going to get an STD, what better place to get an STD than the Florida Keys? And if there's going to be a new one, it's going to be invented here by the conflagration of all the different people across the United States and from around the world. You can get it in Key West. You can get it from Marathon. You can get it from Islamorada. And then whenever you come and say, you can proudly say, I have, what is it? What do we want to go with? What's the best one? Armpit gonorrhea. Where'd you get the armpit gonorrhea? I got it in Key West. During Fantasy Fest. And this week is Fantasy Fest.
Fantasy Fest.
It's funny that we mentioned that, and I wasn't thinking about that when I thought about those social diseases. I've seen pictures. You've seen pictures of Fantasy Fest. And what it is, once again, it's body paint, a lot of body paint. There was
a lot of naked people who shouldn't be naked.
A very large transgendered woman who wanted, when I was in AA, and she wanted to go down there. I think she may have gone there, and she had a baby of a fetus in her belly, his belly. And you know, it's funny. She always looked really like 12 months pregnant, the way that was. And I remember she'd always confide in me. I just can't get anybody to have sex with. And I'll tell you, once again, some of the most unattractive men decide to become women. And when a very unattractive man decides to become a woman,
Probably going to be an ugly woman, too.
it's the magnitude is exasperated, I hate to say it, by several folds. Now, going the other way, I don't know if it works. I mean, sometimes I imagine an unattractive woman could become a somewhat attractive man.
Yeah, maybe.
Or medium. But I think the switch to masculine doesn't gentle your condition. I think that's Shakespearean in nature, but
it could be.
Yeah. So you go down to Key West, and it started this week. It started yesterday. And there's all body paints. There's festivities going. Sunday was the zombie ride. We had the witches ride. There was a lot of sexy, beautiful witches at this event.
There you go.
The zombie ride, I'm sure it's the same way. And we did do an episode before. There is a certain segment of society that likes zombie porn. Yeah, they get very excited by it. My friend Tony Allen, he's in a Entropia universe, and Entropia universe, there's some guy that has these hot zombie women. Whether I don't know if that's necessarily if someone eats flesh. I don't want them touching my flesh.
Yeah.
And that's not what I dream of, someone rending my flesh. I mean, it's bad enough when you get all scratched up. Right?
Clip those
And
nails.
what is that? What is that all about when you get all ripped up and you get all scratched up? Is it
crazy women?
Well, I know, and it's part
crazy
of
men, too, whatever.
I think it's a mark. It's like a brand. Like he says, listen, someone else did this to you. You know, so I'm going to leave. Hickeys are the same way. Yep. You know, a hickey's like, you might as well put a Circle K Corral on it and stuff like that.
Mine.
Say, that's mine. I gave him a K. I'm Catherine. That's my K from a man. Give him a hickey. I mean, you might as well have a face tattoo. You know? And I've had one or two before, just one, not a bunch of them. You can get one hickey, and it is kind of embarrassing to explain that stuff. You know, I put mine on their butt.
That's at least.
I know. Well, you're going to show your butt, and that's where you're going to do it. But you can decide just don't show your ass as much, you know. And it's only one woman I actually do that to. It's the same woman. Doing, but we're talking about Fantasy Fest, and last year I did a little research, look at pictures and stuff like that. And in the studio, there was a man. He was around my age, body painted. Now I didn't know if it was his dick that was out, but he's just standing there, and it looks like a bunch of people. It looks to be one of those open air studios along Duval or off Duval, one of the side streets, but people would meander through, and people would have their pictures taken, and there were studio quality pictures. And I don't know if the guy was using a prosthetic or his own.
Who knows?
But people were just walking up and taking the thing that appeared to be or appeared not to be his penis in their mouth and get their picture taken with it.
Good for them.
Yeah, and post it on the Facebook page.
I don't know if that's going to last long.
I know. Well, I guess there's a lot of pictures that go out there, and it was just in there. It was like 50 different people just randomly walking in. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it porn because it didn't look like to be any. And if it was fake, it's certainly. I mean, I didn't get the whole idea behind it at all. Because if it's porn, you're doing something, you know. But it could be art. It may be art. Who's to say what art is art? I mean,
never know.
This year they could have someone opening up an umbrella up someone's ass.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
not all the way because, that'd be physically impossible. But you get the beginning in and kind of open it up.
Yes,
I can
you
see
can.
that. And there'd be right at the crown of the umbrella. You get it in there. And I guess the umbrella is still usable afterwards because the rain falls on that side. And I don't know if you know this, but last Thursday we did a show called Beehole Pleasures.
I missed that.
Yeah, Jen and I, Thursday night.
There you go.
And it was light bulbs and keys and a knife. And it was all these x-rays of different things people had in their anal
Stuck in
cavity.
their butt.
Yeah, a knife. A bulb, I can understand.
Yeah, no.
No, not putting the bulb. I can understand why the bulb went to... See, this is the psychology behind it. And it sounds like I know a little too much about it, but I think about... I'm very empathetic, right? I'm very empathetic. I never had... Thank God, I'm very empathetic, so I never thought about doing these things. But what happens, suction takes over. When someone puts something up, and nature deploys a vacuum, and you get a light bulb in there, and then it starts going in there, and then your instinct is, well, that's a good idea. It feels good going in. But then you start thinking about what happens to a bulb when you have to pull it too hard. Yeah. What?
No.
What?
No.
Breaking, shattering.
Yeah, no.
You got to pull it harder because the sucking's occurring greater. I know Bill is making an excruciating look on his face. But what someone decided that was a good idea, and then when it became a bad idea, is when the pressure of it pulling became so great, the person's thinking of it, oh shit, there's no way. You know what? It's virtually impossible. You ever seen those the crust of an egg in your hand with it closed on? Same thing. But first of all, let me explain something. You should not be sticking things up there. That's the first
Especially
thing. You
not
should not
breakable
be sticking things up
man.
there.
Damn.
Except for a thermometer that's firmly held. Ironically, there was no pictures of any thermometers. Because it's a straight thermometer. I think with the bulb.
Probably comes out pretty easy.
There was a key, which I don't know what satisfaction you get from a key.
Yeah,
I mean, someone was rat holing it, but it wasn't a key to a cell. It was a key to a cell door, a knife, which I imagine that would be prison. That had to be prison. It was a knife.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they put the knife on their belly or right here on their. I'm putting a place above my pubic bone into my lower abdomen, but it's a knife. And if you showed up in an X-ray with that, it would almost guarantee that would show up like it looks like it's inside of you. Yeah. I don't know if it's fake or not. Maybe you have people fucking around with the X-ray.
Could be.
Statue of Liberty, which I understand the hand part going up with the torch. But the pedestal and the book, she's holding the big book, that would just rip you apart. Eiffel Tower, everything coming out is horrible that way. I'm just thinking about a horrible thing to pull out. A fork, not too bad. Bad going in, all right coming out.
Yeah, no.
A fork, no what?
No, just no.
Bill, I'm not saying to do it. I'm just
No.
saying you got to be empathetic. You got to think about this stuff. What I'm saying is
Good,
you
you think
can't. I'm
about
not
it.
forgiving them for what they're
I'll
doing.
let you
I'm not
think about it.
accusing
I
them.
prefer not to think about it.
How about a spear with sharp edges on the side? A wide spear.
No, I think
An
that's
arrowhead.
pretty painful.
An arrowhead?
Yeah, no.
A three-edged, a three-blade razor.
No.
A toothbrush. Now, Bill said right there, he said, a toothbrush. That's not too
yeah,
bad.
okay,
Toothbrush not
whatever.
as bad. Well, you never see anybody with soap because soap would just dissolve eventually. You'd have the cleanest a-hole in the world. That's what they should do. That's what they should do, make it from.
Yeah, soap.
Soap and things that degrade into things
Easily
that dissolve.
passable things.
Holy shit. I wonder if there's anything like that. Did I just ruin our patent coming? Don't call Dave. Fuck you guys. Don't call George Foreman. Remember the George Foreman thing? Like, hey, my friends say whenever there's I have an invention. Where do I take it to get it? Well, fuck you, George Foreman. The soap anal probe is my idea. You can make it like a soft soap, right? It would work like an enema, like a capsule. It dissolves, and once the person that likes it up there, it dissolves. It cleans them out the other way. What do you think?
Sorry, somebody beat you to it, man.
It's there? You just checked it?
Oh, yeah, it's there.
What is it called?
Let's see. Love plugs. You can leave it up there for an hour as the plug may start to dissolve.
Fuck, motherfucker. You think we should ask Sissy about that?
If you want.
No, I don't think so. That'd be inappropriate. Well, what do you think about the medicine?
Oh, yeah, I've had my fair share of suppositories.
No, I meant one, like whatever they do to clean out. I've never had that done.
Oh,
so.
colonic?
Believe it? Yeah, colonic. Okay, see?
Yeah,
all this stuff, I heard about it and stuff like that. And you know what? I can see where it's important to have that done. I haven't had it done yet because I haven't had an issue to have it done. But I imagine...
Eat roughage.
No, but if someone, let's say they said, hey, I want something shoved up my ass, but I also need a colonic. And
Cool,
you start out, you do the thing you want, right? Let's say it's a Friday night, or your night's Thursday. My night's a Monday, or a Tuesday, actually. I'm going to go and get some pizza, watch some The Man in the High Castle, and then I'm going to take a Statue of Liberty shaped device, shove it up my ass, wait there about 6 hours, and it turns into a colonic.
There you go.
There
Have
you
fun
go.
with that.
A fun Tuesday night, and I took care of an issue I had to have done.
Yeah,
this came up totally on the show today. And you know what? If you do come up when you bring it to market, at least give me a little credit. I mean, you don't have to. Obviously, give me credit. You're going to have to pay me. I don't know. if I set it here and we have a date on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'd have to submit drawings and actual physical.
I mean, you could put like a gel capsule around it, like a Tylenol gel caplet. What do you think?
Maybe. I don't know.
A giant Tylenol. Wait. Then when your wife says, sorry, sweetheart, I have a headache. And you go, don't worry, sweetheart. I have things that will take care of both of us right now. Well, actually, it won't take care of both of us. It'll take care of you both ways. There you go. You don't.
That's the old joke. Here's 2 aspirin. Well, I don't have a headache. Great.
You're about to have one. What were we looking at time-wise?
Oh, we got, I don't know, 10 minutes.
10 minutes? 35?
34.
Oh, we're almost there then, man. I'm always, with 34 minutes or 45 minutes, I think we're right there. We're in the midst of Halloween season, and then we're going to be going into Thanksgiving. If you do come down to the Keys, we're
I think the Keybillies are going to dress as Luke Glenn for Halloween.
Well, you don't have to do anything different, other than put like a marijuana butt on your hat.
We got to put a marijuana leaf on my hat.
Oh, and
wear a cut-off
T-shirt. You wear a T-shirt because you wear shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll wear
you and I, what's weird? Without the hat, you and I wear similar clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bill and I have similar views, except for, I don't know what. Maybe you and I have similar views too. I don't think Luke's views are any closer to mine either. But we're coming. Tomorrow we're going to be coming to you from Shipwrecks. And we're going to have a good time there.
Yeah,
I'm going to get that set up. I'm going to set up the thing I talked to you about. I don't mean to be obtuse to you, listeners. But, and I also want to say thank you. We are having consistent listenership from Iran and England and Germany.
There we go.
Ich bin ein Berliner. To Iranian ones, what did I say? England. Would you like a spot of tea? I know, badass thing. But, I mean, I could do – I got to practice my accents a little bit.
I'll go for a bowl of mushy peas.
What?
I'll go for a bowl of mushy peas.
Mushy peas or boiled meat. We have our Canadians. We have our Philadelphians. McGeehan's Bar. Oh, my God, the bar. McGillen's. We got McGeehan's. We got Pat. We got Heather. We got the whole McGeehan family. What's that beautiful girl that bartends there? I forgot her. Oh, man. We're going to have to call her up. Maybe I'll do that a Thursday interview or something like that. We'll get Heather in.
Fun.
A beauty in her own right. We'll get all those people. And my buddy Pat just turned 50 up there. So you can take any of those ideas. Pat's an entrepreneur. He could bring that idea to market.
There you go.
Yeah. The gel tabs wrapped around anal insertion devices that turn into medicine, things like that, I think you'll be ready for that. There'll be a whole thing. You do shooters. You could put something like coated, and it'd be like a vodka. Because people, they always, until recently I found out about that, people putting tampons in their rectum to get drunk. I'll have another one. And I'm not inserting. I'm just drinking the beer. But until recently, I've never heard about the alcohol-soaked tampons. And why did I mention that with McGeehan's? All my Philadelphia listeners. And I know I have listeners up in Gainesville. I guess in Gainesville, I hope it's college students. And if it's college students, remember to practice safe sex. And don't follow my advice about the armpit gonorrhea and all that stuff. You got to use condoms. Remember this. I mean, it's heart-to-heart from Uncle Jim. You got to use condoms.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap that. Put a cap on your Jimmy. There was a song called that. Are you telling me to wrap it up now?
No.
Okay, wrap up that Jimmy.
Yes.
That head on that. I was talking about where our listeners from. Gainesville. We got Miami, of course, Miami, Key West. Key West, I don't know. I got to talk about Key West. We got Irish Kevins. I got to talk to them. We're going to be down there. We're getting bigger and bigger. You're going to have to talk to us eventually. If you don't have to. Obviously, you don't have to if you don't want people outside your area. And remember, we're going to be fucking big in Iran. I mean, maybe we will if they don't kill all our listeners over there. What do they do over there? Is it flogging? Yeah. Once again,
I think they're pretty big on beheading.
Beheading was like Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Persians were pretty big on beheading too.
Okay. Don't get yourself fucking beheaded. Listen to this stuff. But and once again, fucking North Korea. If you get that cheese eater over there, if any of you guys are programmers over there, I'm gonna put Great Leader and North Korea in our hashtags into our hashtags, and we'll see if we can get a bite from them. Maybe we can get Venezuela. I don't know. Venezuela doesn't have the technological know-how.
Yeah, they probably
There's
do.
some English speakers. There's a lot of English speakers in Venezuela.
You got Maduro down there. Is he still alive? Have they killed him yet?
Maduro's still alive. They've had an attempt on him where they tried to bring a drone in during one of his military reviews. So we got that. I covered Iran, Britain, Germany. It would be nice to get that person. I think it probably was a friend traveling into PAL. We don't have any listeners in Russia.
No Ruskies?
No fucking Russian. Comrade Putin.
There we go.
Fuck you.
I don't see him ride in here on a bear with an AK-47.
Bare-chested?
Bare-chested on a bear with an AK-47.
Yeah, you're getting big boobies, Vladimir. You know what? I don't think he's a badass. I think I can kick his ass. I don't think he'd ever come in near by himself.
I don't know. That'd be a good one. We can get you guys doing.
I would love to fight. I would love to fight Vladimir Putin hand to hand with his judo stuff and all that stuff. I'm sure he's a badass and stuff like that, but I think I'd overwhelm him with my strength and my
That'd be
surliness.
pretty fun.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm looking at
I'd
you.
pay for that.
I'm looking at you, and I'm fucking thinking you'd go for Vladimir.
I would. I put my money on
Oh,
Vladimir.
fuck you, man. You know what? That would definitely. You know what? He's not. You know why he wouldn't? He wouldn't be used to fighting someone that he couldn't beat. He's always someone that. It's always someone that has to lose. Think about it. Think of the last thing he put on displays and stuff like that. Ever since he was in KGB, right? Were you allowed to beat him?
Probably in sparring.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
And you think Kim Jong? Oh, it's like trying to beat Kim Jong-un playing golf. You're going to be hitting that fucking shit in the water all day, if he does play golf or whatever, or eating cheese, or anything like that. But once again, we are reached the end of our time with you. I wanted to talk about the Keys Notary.
There you go.
It's another endeavor I have. If you're coming down to the Keys and you want to get married, I want to put newlyweds or future engaged. If you're coming down, I'll give you a break. We'll do your weddings. We'll do if you want to. If you allow us to do it on the air, it'll be free.
There you go.
And I'll get a beverage and food package for you and your wedding party up to four people. Up to 4 people.
Luke and I might even be willing to play at your reception.
And Luke and Bill would play at your reception, and that'll all be included. And I will pick up your bill and your liquor tab for a 3-hour reception for you down here in beautiful Key Largo. And once again, I may extend it to Key West if we do it down there. Yeah. And then as the show gets a little more notoriety, I'll beef it up a little more. Maybe we can get up to 10. You'll have to supply right now the tickets to get down here and your lodging, but I will certainly take care. I'll take care of the nuptials. You pay for the license, and I'll pay for the food and the beverages, and you'll have a good time. I just came up with that right now. I think it's going to be worthwhile to do that, and it doesn't matter, man, woman, man. We'll do it. We'll have probably have to do a contest for that in 2019.
There you go.
2069 and 2019. We'll call it something like that. It's a 50 away from. Yeah, 50 away. 50th pre-anniversary of 69 and 19.
There you
I'm
go.
just full of shit and
man,
ideas.
You're hopping today, man.
I know. I came up with it. I got to remember this so I can write it down. Sometimes I forget about it. And also we do legal courier work. If you have to, go to thekeysnotary.com or on Facebook, The Keys Notary. And I'm the Keys bartender, Jim. Thank you for listening. I'm turning over to Bill.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Of course, you can always find me at Cody James and thekeybillies.com or on Facebook. We're always up there posting weird stuff about where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. Thank you all so much for listening. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be at the Shipwrecks, and we'll have Luke with us, so we'll be all sorts of off-topic and all over. Thank you guys again for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you later.